From the moment rumors emerged that Jay-Z was stepping outside his marriage, the entire world seemed to pause and lean in, trying to catch every last whisper of speculation. People had always held Jay-Z and Beyoncé up as the prime example of an unshakable power couple, the unstoppable force of music, glamour, and business combined. But as soon as Beyoncé released her groundbreaking album Lemonade, hinting at a secret Becky with the good hair, all bets were off. For many fans, it was the moment that confirmed something deeper had always been brewing. The possibility that the picture-perfect exterior might be holding back a world of secrets, tensions, and hidden heartbreaks. Everyone remembers that instant in Lemonade, when Beyoncé's voice dropped to a steely note of anger in the song Sorry, referencing a figure who had apparently interfered in her marriage. Although the name Becky appeared out of nowhere, a burning question erupted in the minds of fans. Who in the world was she? Speculation took over social media, tabloids, and even casual conversations among friends. Fingers pointed to fashion designer Rachel Roy, especially after she made a suspicious Instagram post that same weekend referencing good hair. Overnight, it seemed like half of the internet was dragging her name through the mud, while the other half waited impatiently for Beyoncé or Jay-Z to confirm or deny the rumors. They never gave a direct answer, of course, because both of them had perfected the art of revealing only what they wanted the public to see. But what if the real story is that Becky isn't just one person at all? What if it's a name that stands for multiple people, multiple alleged mistresses, multiple controversies, and multiple secrets that have been kept under wraps for years? That's precisely what some industry insiders have suggested. That Jay-Z's dalliances stretched across a string of relationships with both well-known and more obscure personalities. And the most surprising part, many of these alleged relationships apparently overlapped with his time dating and even being married to Beyoncé. The swirling rumors have pulled in big names, from an iconic singer who left this world far too soon, to a fiery artist who was once part of the ROCSOL family. To understand the weight of these allegations and how Beyoncé has reportedly navigated every twist and turn, we have to dig into stories that span decades, from the beginning of Jay-Z's career all the way to the present. One name that comes up again and again when people discuss Jay-Z's rumored past is the late R&B legend, Aaliyah. Even though she died young, she left an enormous cultural footprint, becoming an immortal icon in the world of music and fashion. Behind the scenes, it's been said Jay-Z was deeply infatuated with her and pursued her romantically, before she started dating his friend and business partner at the time, Damon Dash. For those who don't know, Damon Dash co-founded ROC Records with Jay-Z, and the two men had once been as close as brothers. Yet their camaraderie had a subtle undercurrent of competition. Both had set their eyes on Aaliyah, who was universally admired, not just for her talent, but also for her striking beauty, humble personality, and warm spirit. According to countless rumors, Jay-Z tried very hard to woo Aaliyah. However, it was Damon who ultimately won her over, an event that drove a wedge between the two men that would never truly be repaired. The heartbreak and anger Jay-Z felt reportedly lingered, and some say it fueled decisions he later made about ROC, Damon's involvement, and how the label's future would unfold. The idea that the hip-hop mogul sold ROC to gain sole control as payback for Damon stealing Aaliyah might sound dramatic, but those rumors persisted for years. Even more dramatic is the suggestion that Beyoncé is aware of how strongly Jay-Z once loved Aaliyah, and that she has grappled with the knowledge that if Aaliyah had lived, Jay-Z might have chosen a completely different path. Whether that means Beyoncé believes she was his second choice or not is up for debate, but some fans have long suspected that lingering feeling of being second best is a subtle thread woven into Beyoncé's most emotional music. Moving deeper into these twists, there's the rumor that Jay-Z also maintained an allegedly close relationship with Kelis in the early 2000s. When the subject of Kelis comes up, people often think of the singer's dynamic style, her fearless songs, and the explosive controversies in her personal life, especially regarding her former marriage to rapper Nas. But behind the scenes, insiders have whispered for years about her possible entanglement with Jay-Z. Neither party has ever admitted to it, but the rumor remains. Some even claim that after Beyoncé and Jay-Z began dating, he continued seeing Kelis on the side, though there's no public proof of that. If such a relationship did occur, it would clarify why certain tensions might have remained hidden in the background for years. Fast forward to today, and there was an abrupt flare-up of drama when Beyoncé sampled Kelis's famous hit, Milkshake. On her 2022 album, Renaissance, Kelis became publicly upset, calling out the lack of respect and communication about the sample, though she never explicitly mentioned any personal baggage between her and Jay-Z or Beyoncé. It made fans wonder whether unresolved feelings from the past had finally spilled over, igniting a dispute that seemed bigger than just a music sample. But Kelis wasn't the only rumored link to Jay-Z under the ROC banner. Another name that has often been tied to scandal is Rihanna. We all know Rihanna's massive success as a singer, business mogul, and cultural icon. In the mid-2000s, a young Rihanna was signed to Def Jam, with Jay-Z playing a major role in her signing. As she rose to stardom, rumors spread like wildfire that there was more than just a mentor-mentee relationship between them. Stories circulated about late-night studio sessions, suspicious interactions, and a palpable chemistry that set tongues wagging. At one point, Rihanna's own publicist came forward to say he had planted the rumor in a desperate attempt to get attention for Rihanna's single Panda replay. He insisted the entire story was manufactured, but not everyone bought that explanation. Then came a more explosive claim from someone named Jaguar Wright. She publicly declared that not only had Rihanna and Jay-Z been together, but that there was an even darker side to the story involving manipulative behavior and possibly even health-related disclosures. Jaguar's claims were extremely controversial, with many dismissing them as outlandish or lacking credible evidence. Yet the speculation soared once again, fueled by the sense that there must be some reason why. Rumor of Jay-Z and Rihanna never fully died, despite repeated denials and attempts to refute it. Add to that the fact that other rumored entanglements have proven real over time, like Jay-Z's confirmed admission of infidelity, and people remain unsure who or what to believe. It is possible that the story was no more than a PR stunt, but it's equally possible that something real was tucked away in that swirl of rumors. When it comes to truly shocking allegations, the saga of Foxy Brown's early days in the business is one of the stories that stands out for all the wrong reasons. Foxy Brown was about 14 or 15 years old when she first stepped onto the hip-hop scene and caught Jay-Z's attention. He was in his mid-20s, already establishing a name for himself, and apparently saw potential in Foxy's raw talent. They collaborated on tracks that many considered too explicit for someone of her age, creating an uncomfortable dynamic that, in hindsight, people are questioning more seriously. Some industry whispers suggest that Jay-Z and Foxy's relationship wasn't purely professional, implying it was personal and deeply problematic given her youth. Foxy has vehemently denied any wrongdoing on Jay-Z's part, and has spoken out to call these stories disgusting and completely false. But that has not stopped the gossip. People familiar with these rumors point to lyrical content, personal appearances, and the closeness of the two artists at the time. They also mention the luxurious lifestyle Foxy seemed to have access to, speculating that Jay-Z provided for her in ways that went beyond normal mentorship. The allegations even extend to STDs. Some claim that Foxy caught one from Jay-Z, though no solid evidence has ever emerged. The notion that underage girls might have been involved is as serious as it gets, and it's a testament to the power of rumor and the possible weight of hidden truths that these stories still linger. The specter of what might have gone on behind closed doors is enough to keep fans and industry observers alike intrigued, concerned, and sometimes outright scandalized. Yet amidst all these names, Aaliyah, Kelis, Rihanna, Foxy Brown, there's still the persistent narrative of Becky with the good hair. The initial assumption had been that Becky was a single, specific person who had come between Beyoncé and Jay-Z, catalyzing the crisis that fueled Lemonade. But with these more recent discussions, including a much-talked-about blind item suggesting multiple women, people are reevaluating what Becky actually represents. Maybe Becky is just an umbrella term, a metaphor that captures all the infidelities, heartbreaks, and humiliations Beyoncé has endured. If so, it's as though Becky stands in for a cycle of alleged behavior on Jay-Z's part. The fascination, the pursuit, the secret arrangements, and the ongoing tension it created in a marriage that, from the outside, looked unbreakable. In the midst of all this, one might ask, if these rumors hold any truth, why would someone like Beyoncé, global superstar, acclaimed artist, beloved by millions, choose to stay? Could it be about the brand they've built together, the combined net worth and empire? Some believe her mother, Tina Knowles, advised her early on that walking away from Jay-Z would disrupt not just her personal life but the entire image of success and unity their marriage symbolized. Others suspect that the heartbreak is offset by the genuine love they share, believing that everyone makes mistakes, even the biggest celebrities in the world. The reality might be a mix of both. After all, love, business, family, and personal pride can interweave in complicated ways. The decision to remain married likely isn't one-dimensional. We all remember the infamous elevator incident involving Beyoncé's sister Solange and Jay-Z in 2014. The leaked security footage showed Solange physically attacking Jay-Z, while Beyoncé stood nearby, appearing calm yet obviously aware of the situation. To this day, no one directly connected to that moment has offered a full explanation, though many fans believe it had to do with allegations that Jay-Z was flirting with someone else at the party they had just left. Some pointed to Rachel Roy. Again, others speculated it was about a completely different woman. Whatever triggered Solange that night, it clearly revealed that tensions within the family were at a boiling point. For a brief moment, fans witnessed a glimpse into the real, messy dynamics hidden behind the carefully polished public facade. It's extraordinary to consider how much of Beyoncé's music might be shaped by these experiences. From her earliest work to more recent albums, her lyrics often sparkle with themes of empowerment, resilience, and pushing through heartbreak. Though she rarely spells it out plainly, fans read between the lines, certain that she's weaving her personal life into her art. Jay-Z, for his part, eventually addressed his infidelity more explicitly in his album 444, admitting that he'd been unfaithful and that therapy helped him face his shortcomings. And yet, even with his open admissions, the swirling speculation continues because the details remain hazy. Who was the other woman, or women? When did it begin? Has it ever truly stopped? Why are new claims surfacing so many years later? A possible answer might lie in the intricate nature of celebrity culture, where rumor can be used as currency. Damage control becomes an art form, and truths can shift based on who's telling them. It's not unusual for high-profile marriages to harbor secrets, especially when both partners are wealthy, powerful, and committed to maintaining a brand. In this story, you have not just a power couple, but also an empire that spans music, fashion, real estate, tech investments, and more. If everything were to collapse in the wake of an uncontained scandal, the financial and emotional fallout would be enormous. That reality could be reason enough for the couple to work harder behind the scenes, patching up cracks in their relationship and presenting a unified front whenever they step into the spotlight. Of course, there's another aspect to consider: personal growth and change. Not everyone who cheats continues to do so indefinitely. Relationships evolve, and people learn from their mistakes. We can't know for sure whether Jay-Z's confessions marked the end of his wandering eye or if it continues quietly. But if the love between him and Beyoncé is as strong and genuine as many observers still believed, then it's possible they've chosen to rebuild and find new depth in their partnership. People close to the couple have sometimes remarked that they've come through the worst of it, referencing a more harmonious family life. Now, if that's true, then maybe these older stories are just that, old stories. But the speculation remains unavoidable, because each new rumor tends to rekindle the older gossip, stoking the flames of suspicion once again. For fans, the recurring question is whether it's healthy or necessary to keep unearthing these alleged old affairs and controversies. Some argue that both Jay-Z and Beyoncé have moved on, focusing on their children and building a stable, loving environment. Others point out that the scale of these rumors, especially those involving underage girls, deserves ongoing scrutiny. After all, if there's any truth to illegal behavior, that's a serious issue, and it's important for the entertainment industry to hold influential figures accountable. The moral dimension here is significant. Do we dismiss all of it as mere rumor, or do we weigh the evidence, however circumstantial, to press for answers? So far, Jay-Z has not been overtly reprimanded by the public for these underage allegations. Much of the conversation occurs in hushed tones across internet forums, fan videos, and gossip sites. Part of that might be because Foxy Brown has denied wrongdoing by Jay-Z, and no official complaint has ever come to light. It's also possible that people either feel powerless to challenge someone as powerful as Jay-Z, or they fear potential legal repercussions if they attempt to go public with more concrete accusations. Meanwhile, others remain silent because they simply don't want to believe that a beloved star could have engaged in unethical behavior. The entertainment industry is notoriously complicated in this respect, swirling with blurred lines, unspoken agreements, and hush-hush settlements that keep the real story tucked away from public view. As for Beyoncé, her role in all this can be seen as both victim and strategist. On the one hand, if the rumors of Jay-Z's repeated infidelities are true, she has endured the kind of emotional turmoil that could break anyone's spirit, let alone a woman under constant public scrutiny. On the other hand, she has masterfully channeled personal adversity into her art, building a narrative of triumph through heartbreak that resonates powerfully with listeners. Whether it's turning Becky with the good hair into a cultural reference point or adding cryptic lines about betrayal in her music, she keeps audiences guessing. Every so often, a new lyric or an unguarded interview moment offers a glimpse of real pain. But for the most part, she remains fiercely private, letting her art and stage presence speak for themselves. That level of control is something she has cultivated since her Destiny's Child days, and it has proven extraordinarily effective at maintaining mystique. Meanwhile, fans also speculate about how the Carter children factor into the couple's decision to keep their marriage intact. Being a parent changes one's perspective on everything, from personal ambition to daily routines. If you're raising children in the spotlight, there's an added layer of responsibility to safeguard their emotional well-being. Publicly splitting in a maelstrom of cheating allegations would undoubtedly affect the children, and perhaps the Carters have decided that, if they can resolve their issues in private, that's what's best. Knowing how brand-focused both of them are, It's also no stretch to think they prefer controlling the narrative to protect not just themselves, but also their kids from a devastating media circus. Now, another angle to consider is the question of which other artists might surface with additional claims or confessions in the future. There have been rumors swirling about people in Jay-Z's circle, from aspiring rappers to background vocalists who might be sitting on stories. Some have, supposedly, already come forward anonymously through blind items, describing scenarios that line up eerily well with existing gossip. Others could potentially step into the public eye if they decide the time is right. That possibility looms over the Carters' heads, creating an environment where fans, detractors, and industry insiders watch for any subtle move or unusual social media post that could indicate a new wave of accusations. One of the reasons these stories remain so captivating is the contrast between the Carters' carefully controlled public image and the raw vulnerability implied by such controversies. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have spent much of their careers crafting a polished, nearly untouchable veneer. When cracks appear, it's a dramatic revelation that both enthralls the public and humanizes them. Seeing such monumental stars face personal struggles reminds many people that no amount of fame or wealth can shield you from heartbreak or questionable decisions. The tension between the idealized version of the Carter marriage and the flawed realities that might lie beneath to fuel endless debates among fans and commentators alike. Ultimately, whether you think Jay-Z has been unfaithful with multiple women, just a single person, or not at all, the story takes on a life of its own because of how much the public has invested in Jay and Bey. They've gone from being talented artists to living symbols for Black excellence, for marriage resilience, for entrepreneurial brilliance. Whenever new allegations surface, they threaten to disrupt that symbol, forcing everyone to reconsider what truly lies behind the glossy magazine covers and expertly choreographed performances. It's a compelling dynamic that shows no sign of disappearing. So what do we actually learn from all of this speculation and controversy? At one level, we see the complexities of relationships that exist under the brightest of spotlights. At another, we're reminded that fame doesn't negate the human capacity for mistakes, regrets, and complicated loyalties. People can judge or empathize with Beyoncé's decision to stay, but at the end of the day, it's her life, her family, and her sense of what works for her. The same goes for Jay-Z. No matter what the rumors claim, he's the only one who can fully account for his actions. Unless someone produces undeniable evidence, the public will always be left with partial glimpses and contradictory stories. Trying to piece it all together like an endless puzzle, what remains undeniable is that something sparked Beyoncé's artistry to produce Lemonade, an album brimming with themes of betrayal, rage, self-reflection, and renewal. Jay-Z's admission in his own music that he cheated stands as a confession of guilt, though it doesn't specify how often or with whom. The rest: Aaliyah, Kelis, Rihanna, Foxy Brown, Rachel Roy. The possibility of more unknown names sits in that murky space between rumor and revelation. Each new theory can seem plausible or absurd, depending on your outlook and which piece of evidence you consider credible. In closing, perhaps the most fascinating part of this entire labyrinth of allegations is how it highlights the human thirst for hidden truths. When someone is as adored as Beyoncé, fans want to protect her from any perceived harm. When someone is as revered yet occasionally vilified as Jay-Z, people either rally behind him, citing his contributions to music and business, or they criticize him for alleged moral failings. The story becomes a cultural mirror, reflecting back our own beliefs about love, loyalty, betrayal, and forgiveness. We ask why Beyoncé stayed, whether Jay-Z learned his lesson, and if the industry will ever confront any darker secrets lurking behind the scenes. Where does that leave Becky with the good hair? Possibly everywhere. She might be the name we assign to each and every suspicious situation, each rumor, each intangible moment that signaled cracks in a relationship we assumed was unbreakable. Or she could refer to a specific person whose identity has never been definitively proven. Only Beyoncé and Jay-Z know the real truth, and thus far, they've chosen to let their music and controlled public statements do the talking. What we do know is that Becky, with the good hair, sparked a kind of modern folklore. The tale of an artist scorned, a brilliant mind admitting fault, and an entire fan base determined to uncover the hidden details. So, maybe Becky isn't just a single person at all. Maybe she's the intangible presence of lingering doubt in a relationship that, despite everything, continues to survive. Maybe she's the cautionary whisper in the world of Hollywood and music, reminding everyone that no couple, no matter how powerful, is beyond the reach of human flaws. And maybe, in continuing to ask who Becky really is, we keep alive the hope that every new rumor or piece of gossip will finally fill in the puzzle's missing corner. That's where the mystery remains, leaving all of us, at least for now, questioning the nature of celebrity, love, and the lengths people will go to maintain an empire built on talent, ambition, and occasionally heartbreak. Because one thing is clear: while the rest of us watch from a distance, dissecting every lyric and analyzing every clue. The actual players in this story continue living their lives, shaping the narrative, and they might never confirm the full truth. And in a culture obsessed with revelations, that leaves the door wide open for endless speculation. It's equal parts thrilling and frustrating, inspiring both admiration for their privacy and suspicion about what's hidden behind that privacy. For better or worse, that's how legends are made. One rumor at a time, one shocking revelation at a time, and one complicated relationship layered upon another.